Hey folks, Leaver here once again. How you doing out there, guys? Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Hope you're all having a good day. Staying safe. Oh, I forgot that today was 9/11. Oh, yeah, I don't want to talk about that day. That day was a tragic day. I just saw somebody make a video about it, and I'm like, yeah, it just popped up on my, yeah. But anyway, 9/11, that was a tragic day. I just wanted to mention that real quick. I should, rest in peace to all those people. My prayers go out to their family. That was an awful day. I do remember that day. I think I was, what? I think I was 9 years old when that happened. So I think I was in elementary school or something. I don't remember what grade I was in, but I was little when it happened, and yeah, that was a tragic day, and my prayers go out to their families and stuff. I mean, 9/11 was a sad day. It was the worst day, and I still think of it as the worst day here in our country, here in America. It was worse for New York, but it was worse for all of us, And not only affected New York very badly, but it affected all of us. But anyway, this movie came out in 2001 that I'm going to talk about, and continue with my reviews. Let's just take our minds off 9/11, Always keep your thoughts and prayers on those people of this day that happened, but there's always a way to take your mind off of that tragic day, and I'm going to try to do that today, But I review this movie that came out the same year. In a way, movies could help us, we'll always remember this tragedy, but, let's not think about it. We can use movies to escape it. So, the movies are for escapism. That's what it's for. Well, for me at least. It should be for everybody. But this film definitely came out in the same year 9/11 happened. And I'm reviewing the next Scooby-Doo animated film. This film came out in 2001. And it is the fourth direct-to-video Scooby-Doo animated film. And it was right after the Alien Invaders. Yeah, and that is, of course, to talk about another favorite Scooby-Doo movie of mine, animated film of mine, and that is, I'm reviewing Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Yeah. I love this movie. I do have one big issue with it, which I'll get later on at the end of the review. There will be some spoilers, but, in this video, if you haven't seen this movie, don't watch this review. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's definitely a fun little animated, Scooby-Doo animated movie to watch. I like it more than Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, but that's just me. I grew up with both movies, but I think I watched this more growing up, more on VHS. I watched Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase a lot more, and I've always enjoyed this film. But I do prefer, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and which is supposed to be better than this film. But I do like this film more than Alien Invaders. But that's just me. All right. Okay, you get the menu there. You do have behind-the-scenes documentary, the making of Scooby-Doo, and the Cyber Chase. You got Skydance, Scooby and Shaggy to Eat music video, virtual detective video. So, you got some special features right there. You can watch them making another movie. And the guy who voices, of course, who does a good job voicing the Phantom Virus, he's got that evil voice, in the film. Well, you know how to do it in my reviews. So let's talk about how it got made. The film was released on October 9th, 2001. The film was produced by Hanna-Barbera Cartoons. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is the fourth direct-video feature. It was the last for the original team that worked on the first four films. The team was led by David Stoll and included Glenn Luck, Jim Timpson, and Lance Folk, and others. They had previously kept clash with studio executives who suggested outside screenwriters for the second Scooby film, which is Ghost. For Cyber Chase, it was the same situation. Executive recommended Mark Torso, a writer already under contract with Warner Brothers, hope you guys can hear me, who had a little experience with animation. The crew produced the first Scooby-Doo animated film, Zombie Island, as well as the third, Alien Invaders, were told honest to me and were insulted by Warner's instance that they used turned script. The team were particularly crucial of Torres' draft of the script. which according to folk was considered a regression on terms of the franchise potential. They felt its pacing and plotline were unsatisfactory. In addition, it was reportedly poorly formatted and unfamiliar with the animation process. For example, the script included complicated camera moves to possibly do with their budget, as well as countless locations that would prove tedious to design. As a result, the original team moved on to other projects after the film's completion. The next Scooby-Doo feature, Legend of the Vampire, was also written by tourists. Intentionally suggested that they explore using live-action actors for scenes set in the video game. The other idea was quickly dropped. Out of the first 4 films, Cyberchase features a large array of storyboard artists credits as the team were under significant time constraints and required additional help. Cyberchase was also the last Scooby-Doo film to feature animation produced at Japanese studio Moke. The voice cast, you have Scott Into, who voices both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy Rogers, and of course Cyber, Scooby, and Shaggy. Frank Welker voices Fred Jones, and Cyber Fred, also the Gladiator Lion, he voices, but he's uncredited for that. Gray DeLees as Daphne Blake, Cyber Daphne, uncredited. I think she took over for the late Mary Kay Bergman, who, of course, passed away right after this movie with that tragedy. B.J. Ward as Velma Dinkley and the Cyber Velma. John Askey as Officer Wimbley. Bob Bergen as their software. Tom Kane as Professor Muffman. Mikey Kelly as Bill McLemore. Gary Curtis as Phantom Virus. I think that guy did a really good job pulling off the character. And he's just some other voice workers too. And the actor who voiced, Officer, he's done a voice for like Lorax and stuff, some other voices as well. I've probably heard his voice before. Yeah. He did a voice for Star Wars and Clone Wars, the guy that voiced Eric. Tom Kane, who voiced Professor Kaufman. He's done a voice acting like the Powerpuff Girls movie, the Wild Thornberrys movie, Road Rascal Wild. Shrek 3rd, just to mention a few. Mikey Kelly as Bill. He's best known for his role as Michelangelo in the Team Team movie. Silver Surfer. He voiced Michelangelo in the Team T, the 2007 film. So I didn't know that. So it's just always interesting. And he did a voice for Chorus 3, additional voices. And he was a Mr. Griffer, which I believe was a live-action film. Yeah. Glenn Shedix as Tar Monster. Michael Brennan as Skeleton Gladiator. Bob Paulson as Gator Bull. Doug Price as Old Iron Face. Chris Phillips as Jaguar. Roger Brumbus as Skeleton Gator 2. Matthew Lopez as Skeleton Gator 3. Okay. The film is directed by Jim Stimpson, written by Mark Turso. It's based on Scooby-Doo, by Joe Roby and Ken Robes. By Joe Roby and Ken Spears. The music is by Louis Furby. He did for music for Alien Invaders and The Witch's Ghost. He did the music score for. For TV shows, he did the music score for Smallville, which I love that show, and Charlie's Angels, and The Fugitive, the TV show, the TV show, not the movie. Yeah, but since then he worked on Smallville, and I love Smallville, but that's just me. It's edited by Joe Gill. Production company is Hanna-Barbera Cartoons. It's distributed by Warner Home Video. It was released October 9, 2001. It's 89 minutes. Well, at least that means it came straight to DVD. So, despite having a critical consensus and 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, Common Sense may give the film 4 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 stars, saying, "The getting attractive video game, plural cartoon, and violence." Home media release, Scooby-Doo and Cyberchase were released on October 9, 2001 for both VHS and DVD. At the time it came out, we did get DVD as well, but it was also on VHS. Like I said, it was my first time watching this movie. I used to watch this movie as a kid on VHS. The film was released on Blu-ray. This was the first animated Scooby-Doo film to be produced on the high-definition format. Wow, I didn't know that. On Blu-ray? Well, I'd like to get it on Blu-ray one day. Alright, I mentioned who directed it and all that. Okay. But for the movie, it also had a video game. Yes, it did. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Sorry. And the movie also had a video game for the PlayStation 1 and Game Boy Advance. This is the video game based upon this movie. And the plot is similar to the film, which I will describe the plot of the movie, but it's pretty much similar. And the gameplay, the player controls Scooby-Doo and Shaggy in 3D Universal. The player, you defeat bosses and track down Scooby snacks and other payoffs. The main goal of the game is to defeat the Phantom Virus, a computer virus which has been terrorizing video games. You have 7 stages and you have 21 levels in the game total. The player controls Scooby-Doo in stages 1, 4, 6, and 7, and Shaggy in stages 2, 3, and 5. Stage 1 is classic Japan, just like in the movie. Ancient Rome, Oracle Circle, Prehistoric Jungle, the Big City, Egypt, Amusement Park. Yeah. In each of these levels you have to defeat a boss, and of course into the final boss of the game is like, I guess you had to face some of the villains in the movie. I mean, in the game you have to face some of the villains like you did in the movie in the PS1 game, which I've never played the game, so. But the final boss, of course, is the Phantom Virus. But if you're a big video gamer, you know, you love Scooby-Doo and you love video games and you have a PS1, I'd recommend you get the game if you like Scooby-Doo. I don't know. It probably doesn't hold up well. I'm not sure. I can't say nothing about it because I've never played it. But, yeah. But I like to mention that for my reviews. Alright. And pretty much what the plot, the story about of Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Alright. The synopsis. Alright, here's what the movie's about. Scooby and the gang end up getting trapped in cyberspace when their friend, who is a college student, him and his professor, and another college student, pretty much you have this Phantom Virus that comes out, and which is this guy right here, yeah, the Phantom Virus, who comes out and attacks their friend, and who also, you know, can be a threat to the world, you know, can be a threat to computers everywhere if he got control of everything. He's basically a real villain. He's not a guy in a mask. He's really just evil. And so pretty much the gang has to stop him, but also they get trapped in their friend's virtual computer game, which is called Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, and it's hit by a Phantom Virus, their most electric adventure ever. So what they have to do is also they have to play through all these levels in the game to beat the Phantom Virus, but plus they have to also, two things that come in this movie into play is they face their original counterparts. They're pretty much their Cyber Chase counterparts, which are pretty much like the 60s show, and of course not only that, but they have to face their villains from their past, which I did mention in the cast, like Jeepers Creepers, Jeepers It's the Creeper, Gator, and all that, and I'll get to that, and they have to pretty much stop the Phantom Virus once and for all, for he takes control of the whole world, the computer world, of how dangerous he is. But that's the plot in a nutshell for you. Alright. It took this phone all night to just get taken care of. Okay. Alright. Now let's get, we're in 14 minutes in? Okay. Alright. So the movie opens up with the professor in the opening credits of the film. Yeah. The film opens up with Professor Coleman talking to Eric and Bill, his students, and telling them that they're not playing the game, the Cyber Chase that Eric created, because it's dangerous. so he can't, and they have to get the situation fixed. And so, of course, the Phantom Virus comes out himself, and he tries to attack them, but the professor. Yeah, but Professor Coleman is able to use a magnet to get him away. And then we see the mystery gang come to visit, in the mystery card. Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby come to visit their friend. I thought it was funny there for a moment when Shaggy's playing the video game. And he's like, yeah, buddy, we get to play Eric's video game. He's like, oh, I hope I win here. Scott ends up does a great job voicing Scooby and Shaggy. And Scooby and Shaggy go on the campus. They meet Officer... When they meet the Officer Wimpley, he tells them, you kids are causing trouble. I don't know about your punks coming around here. And of course Scooby grabs his head. Scooby's like imitating him, which I thought was pretty funny. It's like Scooby's just playing. It's like, and keep your dog off the lawn. And Scooby's like, And of course, even though Eric invited them to play this game, but this Phantom Virus, I forgot to mention, is also causing havoc. But they also, Professor Mace, he's like, oh, the famous Mr. Ink, and he's like, you're good here for a mystery. And then they tell them what happened with the Phantom Virus. Eric tells them about the game he created, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, of, which he named after them, and all their villains and stuff, which he created as Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, their video game, based on them, which is cool. But they tell them what happened, that, like I said, with the professor, attacking them with a magnet. And then it also attacked, the Phantom Virus he's also able with his powers, able to zap a machine, and the wires can come out and grab you, and it hurts Eric. He just ends up with a hurt on, but he ends up okay. And of course you find out that Bill loves baseball. He made this cool video game about it. And they say, okay, the gang says, alright, we'll help. There's some funny moments too, like with Shaggy and Scooby, where they show them that they can use this transporter to transport things into the game. It's like, well, the Scooby's nest, can you give the Scooby's nest back? And Shaggy fight over it, which I thought was pretty funny. Or Scooby getting a magnet, and nearly almost getting them, and the film was like, careful, Scooby. And of course, they decide this, the professor will help you with the situation. So they come up with a plan to capture the Phantom Virus. What's up, Scooby and Shaggy? They split up, but Scooby and Shaggy, of course, them, they just go eat food. And Fred, Daphne, and Velma, of course, they do all the work with going to the basement. And of course, they run into the Phantom Virus himself, because Velma sneezes on them, and, it's funny when Daphne's like, we're gonna get you, you creepy thingy. And he's like, yeah, even if Fred makes fun of it, Fred's like, yeah, come on, we'll get you, you creepy thing. And she's like, Daphne's like, and even your friend was like, they're laughing about it. But they're able to use it against him. Because I forgot to mention, Velma, and when she got scared by the Phantom Virus, she chopped the magnet, and he steps on the magnet, and it injures him. Like Bill said, it's like kryptonite to Superman. So they're able to get, Scooby Shaggy, all the food, and all the college students just like walk away. And of course they end up eating so much food, they get so fat and they're laying down, and of course the Phantom Virus comes and sees them. Tries to attack them, and Scooby and Shaggy run. They go into a psychology department class, and they dress up like doctors. Scooby dresses up like a lady doctor. They said, when's the best time to have any food with your snacks? And Phantom Virus is like, and then they shock him twice, and he gets mad. And then you have this film also has a pretty good soundtrack. I like the way they do the Scooby-Doo song, where Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are running from him in order to play tricks and traps on him, and even able to run him away from the library. And they tell him to shh, but they're able to get away safely. But, they are able to get away from the virus for a bit. And, of course, they meet up with the gang. When the gang ends up, getting caught by Officer Fred, Daphne, and Velma get caught by Officer Wimpley, who says, go in there, and of course Scooby and Shaggy are still running from the phantom virus. Then of course they throw me to Officer Wimpley, I can't say his name right, and of course by accident somebody transports them into the game. The person that created the virus, by the way, transports them in the game. And the first level is they have to go, they're in space, Shaggy goofs off, and that's the first level, they're in space. They're able to goof off in space a little bit, Shaggy does, and Scooby just go chase them. And then Shaggy's like, I figured out something. Daphne's like, what? In this world, in this cyber world, you can get hurt, It's a cyber world. It's like another dimension almost, even though it's a video game. That's what I kind of call it. You can still get hurt, real bad. But then they have the Phantom Virus like saying, let's play ball, and tries to chase them by using moon goons. That's what Daphne calls them. I'll call them that too. And the moon goons try to chase them and capture them. And they have to beat every level, they have to get Scooby snacks. Scooby, they have like a moon buggy that is a Monster Inc. moon buggy, which is cool. And so it breaks down, and so Scooby goes chasing, the moon runners chase him, but Scooby's able to trick them, get them to bump into each other, and able to get the Scooby snacks. And then for level 2, what was it for level 2? I think, it's ancient Rome. They end up in ancient Rome, where there's skeletons and there's a lion trying to chase them. Shaggy's caught in nets in his leg, and Scooby's like, it's like, Rome with the chariots, where Scooby's chasing, or Scooby's running from the skeletons. They're trying to kill them. Capture them. There's no killing in an animated movie. Come on. Fred has to use Daphne's jacket. He said, what did he say? Troy? No, he says Leo for the lion. And of course, Daphne and Velma get the lion there. And Daphne thanks Fred and gives him a kiss on the cheek. You can always tell if there was, you can always tell there was a romance between Fred and Daphne. I think we all Scooby-Doo fans know that. But, anyway, they decided to go for the game. Fred decided to go for this time go for the Scooby snacks, but Scooby and Shaggy, of course, try the skeletons by saying, Emperor Scooby! Oh, sorry. And Scooby and Shaggy are eventually able to trick them, but, before the skeletons can get them, they, of course, grab, the virus, the Scooby snacks thing. They reach to level 3, where it's prehistoric, dinosaur, and of course, prehistoric times, where dinosaurs are. And of course, they have the Phantom Virus trying to get them on the T-Rex. He's running a T-Rex, trying to get them. And of course, he's got a spear trying to kill them, trying to get them. And of course, they're able to run to the woods and get away from him. They go in a cave for a while. Scooby and Shaggy are thinking about food, so they're going food. And of course, the professor, Officer Wimpley, and Bill and Eric are watching them on the TV monitor and what they're doing. He's like, we can't just beam them out of there. They have to beat every level to get out of that game. And that's how the game doesn't work, so they have to beat it. But the professor says, even somebody in this room, put those poor kids in the game. One of us is guilty. Somebody in this very room, so they were kind of like suspicious of each other. I forgot to mention ancient Rome. I'll mention it later. Sorry, I don't want to mention a spoiler, but of course, by the way, he also mentions baseball references. I'm talking about each time the Phantom Virus does. But Scooby and Shaggy are going to go try to get wood for their fire because the gang's in the cave trying to hide from the Phantom Virus. But of course, volcano erupts. And it looks like it's really cooking, and it is. And so they have to escape out of there and get the Scooby snacks. They are able to ride it's like elephants, but it's like the elephants from prehistoric times. I don't know, I forget. In the comments down below, you can tell me. But they got tusks. Yeah, these elephants do. But that was a different time. Millions of years ago. But they're able to, of course, get the Scooby snack. There's a baby pterodactyl, which is a cute baby pterodactyl, which Scooby's able to save by a lot because the poor baby's trapped. Scooby's like, hello, and the thing says, hello, Scooby. And Scooby's able to save the pterodactyl. And of course, he goes Scooby Snap to get out of there, and then you go through the. That's how you go underwater, but you don't see each level throughout. They're not going to do that. Instead, it's just montages of the song, Hello Cyber Dream song playing, which is cool. I like that song in the movie. Hello Cyber Dream, why you chasing me? That song playing. You have them going underwater to get the Scooby Snacks, and Daphne almost fighting with a samurai. She's really good with a rake. Able to do all those moves, which is pretty cool. And you see them, Scooby and Shaggy run from a mummy, and you see all these montages of them running and stuff, which is pretty funny and entertaining to watch. Scooby, Shaggy and Scooby, like in the Knight's time or medieval times in the game, where Shaggy saves this dragon, stops this dragon. This girl wants to kiss him, but Shaggy cares about the Scooby Snacks. But of course they get going, and eventually, even though his efforts on each level, the virus tries to stop them, because like I said, I forgot to mention, he was able to transport into the game with them, and he tries to stop them, and of course they end up on the 10th level, which is a huge city. It's pretty much like, it does bring nostalgic back of the old TV series, with this movie, which I didn't mind that. It does nostalgic in the right way, unlike, even though I like this movie, kind of did nostalgic in the wrong way. Well, I did, I'm sorry. But anyway, this is not about that. But this movie, of course the Phantom Virus is still there, an old lady this time, you picked out Final 11, let's play the game, Shaggy and Scooby, the gang, of course, run into their cyber counterparts, which is like I said, from the 60s TV series, where they see each other, it's like 10 of them now, so they say, it's each is me, where Shaggy, the two Shaggys, and they're like, wow, you're me. And the two of them was like, wow, you're me, you're from this world, Jinkies. And of course, the two Daphnes, saying, oh, you look pretty, you wear that scarf? Yep, thanks, girly talk with Daphne. And remember Fred used to wear a scarf in the old show, and Fred's like, wow, nice scarf. He's like, thanks, nice shirt, thanks. And the two Scooby smelling each other's butts. That's our dogs do it, smelling each other, and of course give each other a high five. And they decide to just chill. It was like the two Shaggies had to eat, and the two Scoobies had to steal a fat fresh from them, which is funny. And of course Bill was like, guys, we don't have time to play. We got to get out of here. We can't stay here. And of course, the Phantom Virus comes to get them and of course the cyber gang. They've never heard of the Phantom Virus, but of course when the Phantom Virus comes to attack them in the bar, they're able to get away in the mystery ink, and use like the old from the 60s show, which is cool to see. Nostalgic, done, right? No. And they tell them, well, why don't you get the Scooby Snacks? Because we love it here. It's groovy here. We enjoy our time here. We don't want to leave. They get to have all the fun there. Get to eat real food. Get to eat food and have fun. They like the world that they live in. And this other says, Fred says, why don't we help each other? Why don't you guys help us? They're like, okay, good idea. We can team up, because together we can defeat the Phantom Virus. So they decide to team up and take the Phantom Virus down. Of course, the Phantom Virus decides to bring his own little gang back. Not gang. His own crew back, which is their former villains, like hold on. Which is, of course, Jeepers, it's the Creeper. You have the Tar Monster, Gator Rule, Old Iron Face, and Jaguar. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. I think they just forgot to down here put the Jeepers, Creeper, but they're fighting other old villains in here, which is cool. The two Shaggies, of course, are running from the Tar Monster. They're able to, hit him with a hammer to trick him, and of course run away from him. The two villains have to go up against, two Daphnes, go up against Jeepers, Creeper, against the Creeper, when Daphne's like, I look fat nose in there, you look perfect, she's like, thanks. And then we get the Creeper in the trap door, and trap him in the door, don't hold it for long, so they have to run, and the two villains have to run against, they're against Iron Fist. They, of course, Velma always has that issue on the show, dropping her glasses, like saying, where's my glasses? And of course the two Velmas do that in here, which was funny to see. They trip old Iron Face in this pod, and of course it's like he gets stuck for about a while, but he gets out, and they have to run from him again. And of course the Gator Ghoul is chasing the two Freds on a roller coaster, so they jump off the roller coaster. But they end up, they're high up, but they end up surviving. They end up on a balloon, jump on a balloon. Those things kids can jump on, and it's not a balloon, but, whatever you want to call it, to safety. And of course the two Scoobs have to, they're on a Ferris wheel, the Jaguar chasing them, and of course they play the children by making it go fast and stuff, and falling him out. And of course they see the Gator Ghoul behind them. And you also find out, they think that at first the Fantaverse is playing a trick on them. I forgot to mention that. They try to take off the mask, but of course they're real. These monsters are actually real. They're not guys wearing masks, as it was before in the older show. But the gang I can't even talk. Sorry, but but the gang is able to get away. They're able to eventually defeat these monsters. Well, the two villains get help from a goat who ends up, a baby goat who ends up chasing them at first. Iron Face does, but instead he chases Iron Face, knocks him down. They're able to take care of Gator, Ghoul, and Jeepers, They able to take, the two Daphnes are able to take a picture of them and pass the Creeper out over it. I forget what happens to Gator Ghoul, but they all are able to defeat the whole monsters. And after that, it's like, we defeated all monsters. Now the only one left is the Phantom Virus that we got to defeat. And of course, Shaggy says, "Hey, I had this magnet." The magnet in the movie. I was like, I had this magnet the whole time. And of course, the cyber gang is, starting to pause up, like freak out. Because what's wrong with them? They're affected by it because they're, like the virus. They're part of the cyber world. So that's a weakness for them too. And they tell them, no, we don't want your help this time. We appreciate it, but we need to do this ourselves, because they don't want them to get hurt or anything, because they have to use the magnet, and they don't want to get their cyber friends hurt. And he's like, good, let's play for the final level. So the virus pumps up, they're like an arcade game, arcade, and he's, powering up the fan viruses, and is able to get all of them, and is able to get the computers and stuff come to life, and the wires to attack the gang. They nearly got him with the virus, with the magnet, because Fred walks up to him, but Shaggy, he trips over a ball, and Fred, trips over a ball, bumps into Scooby, and of course, they get away, and of course the old monsters come back to get the cyber man run, except Cyber Scooby, who's got the red collar. The blue collar is the real Scooby, but the Cyber Scooby is the red collar one he's got on. And he's able to sneak up and able to, Cyber Scooby is able to say, hey, Phantom Virus, get me, teasing him, and Phantom Virus is trying to kill him. He's like, you annoying pest dog. And he does get Cyber Scooby with the wires, but the real Scooby-Doo is able to sneak around and get the Scooby snacks. And of course, because of that, the fight, he's like that, it's like, as soon as he gets Scooby snacks to the Phantom Virus, he's like, and he dies eventually, or it's destroyed. And of course, the gang say goodbye to the cyber gang, says, no, we can't stay, we have to leave. Bye, guys. And they all wave at each other, and, Cyber Scooby like, bye, Scooby, hi, Scooby, or something like that. I can't do Scooby voice. And of course, when they go back in there and they say, well, we found out some stuff, they find out, who the person is. They figure out who the culprit was. And of course, it turns out to be Bill, the one with the redhead, the one who loves baseball. Because he makes baseball references throughout their adventure. Not just that, in the ancient Rome, there's like chalk, chalk on the ground, which is like used for baseball, and first, second, and third base and home, which is baseball. And again, since it was a baseball-themed video game, and Bill did it because he was outraged when Kaufman chose Eric's video game design over his, and criticism. No, nobody's special favorite, Bill. Everyone gets a chance there, everyone, including you, from what you did. And of course, he gets in big trouble, gets Officer Wimpley arrested him. He tries to escape before Scooby is able to trip him up. He's like, I would have gotten away with it too. And then the game, if it wasn't for you meddling kids, because they heard that so many times. They, of course, go out to eat, after their adventure. Scooby and Shaggy, of course, get to eat some food finally. And Eric's like, you guys want to play some games this time? And they tell him, could you not make the monster so big? Shaggy said, which is funny. They play a game. Scooby and Shaggy are like, let's play the game. And, of course, it's their counterparts just waving, their cyber counterparts just waving at them, which is nice. And Scooby's able to get the cyber Scooby to eat more Scooby snacks. He's like, that's what I call a virus, Scooby. And Scooby's like, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And then we're laughing, and Scooby just winking us at the end. I didn't see the post-credit scene, but since there was a post-credit scene, including the game, telling the audience what the favorite parts of the movie were. I don't know, but that is Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Yeah. That is all I have to say about that. Maybe I'll get some quotes from the movie. They got a little time. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't really go for Felix, you're me. I'm like, you're me. You're the characters in the next video game, and you're from the real world. Jinkies. Did I really wear that years ago? Got a jacket with that skirt. Nice ascot. Works for me. Well, this is nostalgic. I miss the old man. In Cyber World, things never get old. It's pretty cool. There's a lot to like in Cyber World. There's stores, theaters, parks, and lots of tasty food. But what all about the monsters and villains? We haven't seen any. The public guarding the Scooby Snacks. You mean you guys don't know where the Scooby Snacks are? We know where they are. There's just no reason to go after them, because even if we get the Scooby Snacks, we just go right back to the beginning of the game. And we like it here. Cyber Daphne says, until you guys showed up with that phantom virus, that is, we would gladly get rid of them for you, if we could. All 10 of us team up, the phantom virus wouldn't stand a chance. And so was like, yeah, so they agree. Well, I guess we're going to go after the Scooby Snacks eventually. So you'll help? Count us in. You turn Scoob. What's your favorite part of Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase? Oh. Yeah. Sorry. Alright, well, let me give my final opinion on this movie, guys. Oh, sorry. You want 38 minutes? Okay. Let me give my final opinion on the movie. Alright. But Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I love this movie. Like I said, this movie was part of my childhood. I just remember at my grandma's house, this movie, we had it on VHS, and I used to watch this movie a lot on VHS, I don't think I watched it too much. I don't remember. I really don't. Sorry if I'm forgetting some things. Sue me, but I'm glad I have this movie on DVD. I enjoy this film. Like I said, I prefer this more than Alien Invaders, and I do prefer a little bit more than other Scooby-Doo animated films. So for what I think the directing and writing is pretty good. I think one issue I have with the writing, which I'll get to, my big issue with the film, the major problem that I have with the movie, I'll get to that big flaw. But before I do, let's talk about what I love about this movie. I enjoyed this movie. I think it's entertaining. I think it's fun to sit through. Like I said, the directing and writing is good. The story is good. I love the whole thing that they have to face a real villain, the Phantom Virus, which I thought the voice actor did a really good job. I like his evil voice, I can't do it right, let's play ball, I can't do the voice right, I suck at it, but the editor that does it, he does a good job really making the Phantomverse evil, and when he smiles, he's got that evil smile, to creep you out, but the Phantomverse was, I thought, a great villain in the movie, and I like the game, of course, going through these levels, having their own video game, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, their own little video game, a good friend creates one, and that was cool to see them play through these levels. And the best part for me is when they meet their counterparts in Face Over 60 Films. Like, that was great. That is definitely, like a Scooby-Doo nostalgic trip down the road, that is, like I said, done right, and it's not a slap in the face to the gang, to the series, in my opinion. But Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase does that really well. And the animation, I think, is really good. I guess people don't like 2D. I like 2D. I'm sorry. I like 2D. I'll take it over 3D. I don't care about 3D, but that's just me. I always will prefer hand-drawn animation. There's some CGI shots in here. There's some CGI animation a little, but it's good. The voice cast is great. Of course, Scott Adams was great as voicing Scooby and Shaggy. He's funny. Greg DeLuise, who replaces, like I said, Mary Kay Bergman as Daphne Blake, she did a great job, voicing it for her. BJ Ward, of course, is great. Frank Welker, once again, always does a great job voicing Fred. And I like the rest of the voice cast. I think everyone does good, especially the guy who voices the villain. I think he really steals the show in the film. And the film is only 89 minutes long. You have really good music score here. The music by Louis Ferb, he does a really good job with the music score. And I like the soundtrack in the movie, which is the soundtracks of the songs I was going to mention. You have double joint, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, which I forgot who was sung by. Yeah, I'm not playing the music. I don't know who performs it, but it's a really good song to listen to. I'm not going to play it on here because I don't have a copyright issue on here. But Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, where Scooby and Shaggy are running in the front in the labs to get away from the virus, to get away from the Phantomverse. And Hello Cyber Dream song playing, which was a good song, Hello Cyber Dream, why you chasing me? I think the song pretty much holds up in my opinion. Some of it can be a little outdated in areas, but it's still really good to listen to in my opinion. So music score, the editing, I think is really good. And it's only 89 minutes. The film goes by at a really good pace. You don't go through all the levels. You just see them go through 3 levels, and the last level, it just goes through the montages. I mean, if we went through all the levels, that probably would make the film longer. And I'm glad the filmmakers was not trying to make this film like overly long. I'm just glad they didn't do that. But that's what I love about the movie. Now, issues. My issue was, of course, the villain himself, Bill. I don't know. The guy wasn't going to get a good job, but I thought Bill was a weak villain, and I'm like, an idiot too. I thought he was an idiot. That's just me. Because the problem is, this film kind of takes the mystery away. Because again, the chalk, on the ground, which is baseball, first and second, third base, and home, like baseball. And every time in each level, nearly, the Phantomverse, he always makes these baseball puns. He's like playing in a, making home run, and now for the team event or something like that. And I'm like, and he's in a, playing baseball, or shoot felt, in a batting cage where he's in a baseball. I mean, hitting a baseball in a batting cage, and I'm like, he makes all these baseball references each time, and of course we all know that Bill in the movie, Bill loves the sport, Bill loves baseball, has a baseball cap, and I'm like, okay, it's him. It was pretty simple to figure out. I'm like, that's what my big issue is when we take the mystery away, because the virus makes so many baseball puns. The chalk on the ground in the ancient Roman. It kind of just takes the mystery away, to be honest. And that's one thing this movie failed to do. Is that one big problem I have with it you took the mystery away. The mystery, don't leave us hands for it. Don't put in puns for it. You know, that's the point of a mystery. We want to see who Scooby-Doo fans, I want to see who the villain is. You know, don't give me hints of who it is. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, it was Eric. It's pretty simple, trust me. Because when he makes so many baseball references, and when you get to know the Bill character in the movie, how much he loves baseball, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, at first he does sound concerned, saying, your friend's been transported in cyberspace, but, of course, you really easily tell that he was the one that created it, because, I'm like, and the reason I call him an idiot, that's why I call the Bill character an idiot, because I'm like, dude, you're giving all these baseball puns away, you're giving making him give all these baseball references, all the, you know, the chalk and all the batting cage. It's like you're just saying, you know, Bill, you might as well say on your hat, hey, I'm the bad guy, I'm the villain. You know, that's pretty much like me. He's just opening himself up. I mean, you know, it's like a criminal saying, hey, I'm the bad guy, come and get me. You know, might as well just put on a sign on your forehead or on your hat, you know, giving it away. So that's my one big issue. And Bill was an action character. I call him I think I call him a whiny little boy, I ain't gonna say the cussing, but you know, he's a whiny little baby. I call him a whiny little boy because he's like, you know, because he didn't get my sport to my sport, and I didn't get my. I'm like, boo hoo woo. I'm like, go to school. When you go to school, you work hard. That's how you achieve stuff, idiot. You know. And of course, you're not that smart of a guy anyway. You know. But that's my one big problem with the movie. It doesn't affect my rating for it, but still, I love this movie, despite that the villain and how whiny he was, and the references and the mysteries taken away from us. I'm like, and it's just, I thought the villain was an idiot, you know. But no, not fan of him. He's a cool villain, you know. But this is a fun Scooby-Doo film, in my opinion. Just that one big issue I have with it, you know. But I love Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I'm going to give it a thumbs up in my rating for Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase because of those issues I have with it, or just the mystery be taken away, the villain being whiny, and you know, the baseball references, which is easy to figure out with mystery, and you know, him being an idiot. I'm still going to give it 4. My rating for this Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, my rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars, just 4 to 5 stars, and a thumbs up. 4 to 5 stars for Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. If you're a Scooby-Doo fan, I recommend it, but to let you know right away, you're going to know who the villain is. I don't have to tell you that it's Bill. You're going to pretty much figure it out when you watch the movie. But the gang still has good chemistry. The best thing about it, though, I love seeing them, you know, count up with their cyber counterparts, the cyber gang, which is cool to see them team up and take the virus down and fight their own villains. For me, that was the best part of the movie. But the whole film was enjoyable, and the humor also works in the movie. The animation, the story is really good. It's just the villain, the mystery, and the villain being an idiot, you know. It takes the mystery away. That's just the big issue I have with it. That's my one problem. But in that, 4 to 5 stars. 4 to 5 stars is my rating for this movie, which means it's a good movie. I love this movie. I enjoy it, but it just has that one problem that brings it that brought it down for me a little bit. I mean, not totally like all the way down. No, I still give it a thumbs up. It's just got that one problem I have. The one big issue I have. But other than that, it's still an entertaining fun movie. If you're a Scooby-Doo fan, I highly recommend Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Good movie. And, you know, again, my prayers go out to the people on that day, the families that lost their loved ones on 9/11. That day sucked. You know, it was a tragedy, and you know, I'm sorry people in New York had to go through that. And how much that affected them. It affected all of us. You know, everyone. Especially New York, but it affects us all because we're all one great country, and yeah, 9/11 was just a sad day, but it's good that we have movies like this to entertain you into this is escapism. So if you want to just take your mind off the day, you know, I mean, you will never forget about 9/11. You know, the day will always stick with us, but if you don't want to think about it, if you just want to escape from thinking about it, escapism, just to forget thinking about it, then watch a movie. Watch any movie that's entertaining, and just, you know, that's what movies are supposed to do. They're escapism. Just to take your mind out of reality and just go and have fun and be entertained, you know. But, yeah. But that was a sad day. That day, yeah. But, you know. But, you know. But anyway, guys, finishing up on this video in 49 minutes, and I'm done here. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or you don't like it at all? Do you like it? What do you think of it, in your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think of it? And thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And maybe today I'll do another review, maybe. I will see you in my next review, if I do it today, of Scooby-Doo, the 5th Scooby-Doo animated movie, Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.